We made it. We're here. We're back. It's summertime. And we're both here. It's June. Oh, Pigs Fly is here. So the party has started. Welcome in, everybody. It's even like 5:30-ish on a Wednesday, which is just
not too bad. Not too bad.
Crazy that we would actually be here at our scheduled time. Welcome to episode 91, ladies and gentlemen, as we get closer and closer. You know what? I'm not even going to say 100 because I feel like you made a comment the other day that we're going to get to 100 and then we're going to be done. And no, we're on our way to 1,000. We're just
going to keep the momentum going
to 1,000. But yeah, episode 91. I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. Joining me as always is Tup, the urban prepper. Tup, what is up? I feel like we even over the last few weeks, I don't even remember when we had our last episode. Like, there's so much that we've covered in the time. Like,
yeah, it's been, I think you were on vacation last week, and then I was on vacation the week before. I was in Vegas. You were in Montana, I think. So it's been about 3 weeks, but yeah, it's been it's been a fun little, this for the kids. And so they're on summer break. Of course, us working people, we don't get summer break, but, trying to make the most of it, and we have our next vacation's coming up next month where we're going down to Sun River, Oregon, which would be nice. We'll be passing through your neck of the woods, I think.
That'll be awesome. Bernie and I will be on an overpass. Yeah. We'll give you a little wave.
Give us some kind of wave and smoke signals, like
in
true prepper fashion.
Exactly. I would say we should meet up and like do a dinner or lunch or something like that. But I also know when you're on road trips like that, like just going like ours that we just did in Montana and stuff, like there's a certain amount of like you just want to get to where you're going and you don't actually want to lose the driving momentum. So
we last time we went down there, we stopped off in Portland for the night, but we're gonna have kayaks with us, and so I'm not sure how we would. They're gonna be on the roof. I don't want them. I know those Portland people who I don't want them to take our kayaks while we're
exactly. They will take them. They'll right in the river with them. That's where they will go.
They go right in the river.
Yeah. No. 100%.
But I'm curious to hear how your vacation went and how, and I could say a little bit on mine too. And I made some progress on some cleaning projects and organization projects too. So which is fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, and we've got all kinds of people. Your audience is here today. There's like one person commenting from my and everybody is on yours. Did you put it on the main channel or did you put it on your?
I don't know. I think I just have like little default buttons I press, but
all right. Well, because usually we get a little bit of a mix or whatever, but like everybody, if we got people from the UK in here, nice. Jackie's from Illinois is in here. We've gone international. We've gone global.
Great.
It's all of the things. So let's talk about your vacation. You went to Vegas and you survived.
Yeah, it's the first time I've been to Vegas, not a SHOT Show trip, because the last time I was there was for a SHOT Show back. Got to hang out with some of the fellow preppers, Budget Bug Out and City Prepping and others, and we had some fun over there. But this was for just a pure family vacation one, and it was a lot of fun. I feel a little slightly naked because you can't bring it we did all carry on, and I didn't want to carry on tactical knives and all that kind of stuff. So it's very minimal EDC, where it's vacation mode EDC. But it was I brought some gear. We didn't have to use the UV light, like it was in the suitcase, but not necessary for where we were at.
I saw you posted on Instagram a couple of photos, and if you were staying at the place I think you were staying, that's a very nice place to stay. I don't think you needed to worry about the UV light there.
We weren't staying there, and actually we stayed. That's over. I think when we took that photo, we were by the Venetian or the Bellagio or one of those.
We're in the Bellagio.
Yeah, we were visiting the Bellagio. We stayed at the Mirage for this trip, which is going to be no more as of next month. And the pool was awesome, but I brought some preps for the pool as far as like what, because I didn't want to leave. I told my wife, don't bring your purse, and we can't leave our wallets at the the chairs and everything like that. So everyone had their waterproof lanyards with their the necessary supplies and stuff. But we had a bad experience at the well. I don't know how it was a great experience at the Mirage, but my daughter had some. She woke up the first morning and had a bunch of uh, red dots kind of all over her, and we're like, oh no, bed bugs. And that's what we were worried about. But it ended up just being kind of a reaction to we think to like the detergent or whatever that they're using on the blankets. But we had ended up having to go to the ER like the first full day
Holy
over
cow.
there because they were big, on her back, and all just out of the blue, she woke up that day, and so and for that, I'm gonna have to revise our future vacations because there was some information that I didn't have, like because I took her to the ER. My wife stayed at the hotel with my son, and we were there till like geez 2 in the morning or something like that. But so I'm gonna have to make some revisions to what to bring for paperwork purposes. I didn't think I would need to have medical full on medical stuff, but when you have to go through getting prescriptions and stuff out of state was a little bit complicated, and then I also forgot one of my heart medicines, which is like I need my heart medicine, and I forgot. They're giving me so many of them now, and so I forgot one of them at home, and I was like, "Oh man, I gotta," because we were planning on going on the roller coaster at New York, and I'm like, "I don't want
Yeah.
to have a heart attack on the roller coaster, so I
No.
need this heart medicine." And so, anyway, I'm gonna have to make some revisions to that, and then maybe make a video just so. Sometimes the videos are it's not for the audience, it's for me to get something organized and just to document it. So uh, I think we're gonna do a take two because we had a lot of fun, and we're gonna go probably in January. I think is the next one that we're looking at.
Oh, that would be back to Vegas.
Yeah, back to Vegas.
That's
Uh,
fantastic.
I think for that one we are going to be staying at the Bellagio because my wife really wants to stay there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of cool to get. I was going to we were taking the kids to the restroom, and then some guy, hey, you're the urban prepper. I'm like, hey man,
You're like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I am not the prepper you are looking for.
yeah. So it was, and I had my fanny pack and everything, so I was in true prepper form for that one. So it was fun chatting, and he was you would never tell that he didn't look like a normal prepper, which was those are my kind of preppers.
He was a
The secret
prepper.
prepper. He
Secret
was secret.
prepper.
Yeah, so we were talking all sorts of. We talked for a long time about all sorts of prep stuff. He just got married, and so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, he was prepping for all kinds of things, is
Yes,
what he was
he was.
prepping for.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, the vacation, I think the interesting thing about the vacation thing is we've had now with a couple of different types of vacations. The kind of somebody mentioned in the chat a Daniel Taylor, who's going for MVP again, vacation daily carry.
yeah,
That is kind of a thing because you can't necessarily bring the things that you would normally bring with you in your daily life with you because of either distance, travel,
yeah,
regulations, all different kinds of things. Also, because if you're on vacation, like you don't want to be having tons and tons and tons of stuff. Like you're doing activities and you're
yeah,
swimming and you're all that sort of thing. But you still want to have certain stuff, if you can. And so you're kind of adapting different ways of making it work depending on the type of vacation, which is very interesting.
yeah. So we I put some scheduled lighting at the home before we left, so it looked like we were still
Hmm.
there. Had different cars parked, and I had air tags all over the place because we just got iPhones now, and so I'm like super air tag guy, and so uh, I knew where everything was at in Vegas. So if it was
Yeah.
bad, if someone was going to take my bag, we're going to know about it.
Did
But
you
yeah,
have you
you definitely.
did you do the share AirTag thing so your wife didn't get like super annoyed with the fact that like the AirTag near me alert was going off every 30
Yeah,
seconds?
I took those off, and then I also did some surgery on a few of them I removed the speaker
Hmm.
from most of them because I didn't want to get beeped. Some of them I don't want to get beeped, and other ones I do want to get beeped on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't want to. Yeah, I didn't even bring my multi tool. I didn't bring a knife with me. I had a flashlight. I had medical stuff. And some other like TSA friendly ones. I didn't want to even bother with like some of the multi tools that I have that don't have a blade on it.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just didn't want to deal with it. I wanted it at low stress. But it is a little weird walking around without your multi tool and knife, at least for me.
Yeah, it's a little usually I kind of have I watched this video with this guy, and he was big into modules. I don't know if you've heard about him. He's called the
Yeah, I've
Urban
heard of.
Prepper.
Yeah, I heard that.
I think he has some promise in this prepping world. He might
Yes,
be big one of these days.
yes.
And so I have put the same stuff in multiple bags, in multiple zipper pouches everywhere. So
Redundancy.
regardless of where I am, I don't really have to think about it. I've got a multi-tool, I've got a knife, I've got a flashlight, whether it's in the car or my laptop bag or whatever. But when you go on a trip and you have to take a lot of that stuff out because you can't like I carry some additional items for defensive purposes depending
Hmm.
on like where I'm going in the city or which city I'm going to or whatever. And like if you're on a plane,
Nunchucks,
yeah,
nunchucks. Yeah,
exactly. Nerf,
yeah,
Nerf blasters and all that kind of thing.
yeah,
You can't take some of that stuff on planes. You can't take some of that stuff across state lines if you don't have the appropriate licenses for that sort of
yeah.
thing. Um, so it's very interesting to kind of figure out, okay, what do you feel comfortable with, and what are the skills then that you're going to rely on if you don't have the equipment, to manage different situations.
Yeah, I mean, they always say that, the gear is secondary to knowledge and skills and stuff, and that definitely comes into play when you're on vacation for sure. I
Yeah.
see someone, Daniel was mentioning the Leatherman style. Yeah, I used to,
Yep.
I think I did a video about that like probably 10 years ago where, and yeah, that is a TSA approved one. I just didn't want to bother with the TSA at all.
Is that the
So
little one?
that's a little dinker one. Yeah, that has the
Okay.
pliers on it and some other basic things, but I didn't bring
Yep.
it.
I have that on my I think that's the one I have on my keychain. They have like the squirt, which has like the corkscrew in it, and
Yep.
then they have the PS, which has the scissors and no
Yeah.
corkscrew.
Yeah.
Um, and so I went with the one with the scissors and not the corkscrew.
Yeah.
Um, so
But
yeah,
yeah, the
and
emergency preps came into play, or like I need to have a better list of. I need to have a hard copy, or not a hard copy, but just a printed out list, maybe in the phone that has all the medications and the prescription numbers and stuff. I did have it for this trip, and so I'll make that modification. And I took some notes afterwards. There's a few other things I need to modify.
yeah, that's one of those projects that so I've spent kind of over the last week and a half, I would say, especially with the trip and everything, um, trying to kind of digitally clean up my world.
Yeah.
Redoing. I decided to like redo all of our backups, so I bought like an actual NAS device to be at the
Oh.
house. I got new external hard drives for all of the devices. We've got a new cloud backup. But what I realized is I had all of this stuff backed up, but some of it's on OneDrive, and some of it's on Google Drive, and some of it's on Google Photos, and some of it's on Amazon Photos, and some of it's over here. And some it's like, okay, I just need to really have like one place, because you end up spending so much time just trying to remember where you put everything. And like,
Yeah.
do I have so many copies of everything? That I really trying to like streamline some of that. So I went through and was kind of moving files around, trying to get rid of old stuff, setting up backup routines so the computers will automatically back up and we don't have to worry about that. But one of the things that I talked about when my mom passed, which was a few months ago, was getting that list of all of the medical things for our family, and then also like for close relatives, and putting it like on a Google Doc or something so it's shared so that people can access it if they need to. Um, and that is something I have not done and had completely forgotten until you mentioned it. So that is
Yeah,
now
I need to
going
I
on
need
the
to
list.
get a little bit better for, like, when we're at the ER, like, I've never been to a out-of-state ER for my daughter
Yeah.
before, and it's and you're in Vegas once, so uh, it wasn't the nicest of ones, but it was the closest one. And I didn't know my daughter's Social Security number by heart, so there's little things like that that I needed to, and then, like, a full listing of medical history and stuff like that. So maybe Google Drive is the way to do that, or I kind of like having offline copies, but then I don't know if I want to have that accessible. We'll see.
Yeah. I
We'll
think
make
it
we'll make the
also,
modifications.
yeah, it also I think depends on kind of what you're going to use it for. So like if it's something that you're going to use, like we had to schedule some doctor's appointments while we were out of town because we got calls that we could get in to see some specialists, because apparently our family only deals with specialists now. It's just all the specialists all the time.
Yeah,
And so it was a new specialist. They needed to know all of this stuff. And some of it was stuff you knew off the top of your head. And some of it was, okay, well, which medication, what is, this supplement that they're taking, and some of it's new medications, and you're trying to remember all of it. Um, and so, we're trying to do it like on our phones, but you can only open up so many apps and so many things at one time. And so having all of that stuff in one spot, I think would be probably beneficial.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to contact my doctor, and I'm like, he's a secret prepper himself. So I said, hey, I forgot my bottle of whatever carvedilol, and I need it. I'm on the strip. Can you send it to this Walgreens over here? And like by 6 in the morning, he had sent it, and I went over there, and it totally saved the day. But yeah, it really messed up on that one. So
Yeah, Big Ross has a
yeah, PDF idea. I didn't have
yeah,
it.
you fail. That was a
Yeah, it was
prepper fail.
a prepper fail.
Prepper
Prepper
fail.
fail.
Um,
I let my guard down slightly, and then
you did, but that's okay.
yeah.
But you had a good time. You made it back.
It was we had a blast. Like we when we came back, we were like, we wish we had a couple extra days over there. So they're already wanting me to book the next one. So
Yeah,
we're working on that.
but the Mirage was the hotel that I grew up when my parents would go to Vegas. They
Yeah,
always stayed at the Mirage, and then when I was old enough to really go and enjoy Vegas, we would go and go there a couple of times. But this last
I
time it
love the
was
pool. The pool was awesome.
the pool is amazing. The
Yeah,
pool is amazing.
they better not tear that down,
Yeah,
or I think they're just going to renovate it, from what I've heard, because they're building the Hard Rock there. But
I heard they're putting like making it into a guitar or something like
yeah,
that.
it's going to be this humongous guitar.
Yeah,
Of where the building is, but I think from what I heard that everyone loves the pool, and it's just going to be more
the
renovated slightly.
yeah, the pool is one of the best pools, I think, in
And
Las
I
Vegas.
saw someone talked about hives from chemicals in the pool. That was, and it's a saltwater pool, so it's a little bit different than like the chlorine chemical ones. But
Um, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not sure if you have the same. Do you have the same kind of problems with saltwater pools as you do with like a bleach or chlorine
um,
type one?
yeah. I don't. I mean, so our son has a ton of eczema and that sort of stuff, and he'll react to things all over the place. But he hasn't like we haven't seen that reaction necessarily in pools with chlorine versus like saltwater. Like if we go to the ocean or we go to a saltwater pool or something, it doesn't seem to have that. But we do like if it's a weird detergent, he might have a reaction, or our daughter might have a reaction. Like that sort of stuff can 100% happen.
Yeah. Oh, use Daniel uses cam scan. I use a tiny scanner. Maybe I should
Yep.
just do that. And, yeah, be cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
scanning
I
is
maybe yeah,
key.
I because in my Motel Go bag I have sheets that are uh, uh, good sheets, and maybe I don't know if I need to bring those now on vacation. I prefer not to, but
Yeah. Well,
maybe it was
also
just a
it's
fluke.
yeah, it's just that would be a lot of
That's
stuff to pack and
yeah, what,
carry and all that sort of stuff. Um, I wonder too, depending on the hotel, if you can like ask specifically, like if they can use a different
yeah. We called on that, and
detergent or something.
yeah, that's it. My mother-in-law said the same things.
Um,
10
also,
hail preppers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just hear the thing from Game of Thrones. It's shame,
Yeah.
shame. I also
Well,
wondered.
the next vacation is going to be a more of a normal travel in the woods type vacation, so I'll have all my stuff with me for that
Yeah,
one.
you'll be ready to go.
I'll be more
Um,
ready.
I also wonder if that's just a thing that like a cheap Target run could solve, of like just getting a really cheap blanket from
I
Target
was
and just put it over the top of the bed.
yeah, I was thinking of like, hey, what's like if you were to go on vacation, you didn't want to check things. Like, what are the things
Mhm.
that you should go buy at Target or Walmart or something like cheap
Yeah.
preps or something for specific for vacation that you don't mind. Like, if you don't use them again, like, do you buy a little cheap pocket knife or not? Or not? I don't know.
Yeah. You know what? That would be an interesting video.
Could something from Amazon and have it delivered at the hotel
Oh yeah.
when you get there?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's like here's
Um,
like your
it depends. So I will say it depends on the hotel.
yeah
And it depends on the service. So we a lot of times, especially when my son was dealing with a lot of his food GI issues, and we had to have specialty food available for him when we would go places. We would almost always order Amazon Prime deliveries to the hotel,
Yeah.
Target deliveries to the hotel. It used to be grocery deliveries from Whole Foods to the hotel. And depending on the hotel, they will usually either store it or even take it to your room. But you want to call and just make sure, because like it's an Amazon package. They may or may not do that. Also, depending on like if it's arriving, before you get there versus if it's
Yeah.
arriving afterward. But usually you can do that. Target delivery for a lot of that stuff is usually pretty good too. Amazon has a wider selection, obviously. So if you're priming or something like that, that can work
Yeah.
out really well. But
So
definitely something to just
that
work
might
on.
be a kind of a fun video, like what's your prepper care package for
Yep.
vacation?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
What
Exactly.
would you want for that? Gee,
Oh, I like
I,
that idea.
I
That's
like I
very
like
cool.
it. I like it. We
Mm-hmm.
should brainstorm some more.
Yeah.
Oh,
We come up with
Jackie's
the
on
best videos.
Amazon Drop. Yeah, a lot of the best videos are still in the mental storyboards. The Amazon Dropbox. That's a great idea, Jackie.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
Yeah, I like that idea. Why didn't I think? See, I was thinking about it when I was there. As preppers, I think that we're always thinking about. We always have preps on the mind, and so
Yep.
I was thinking of stuff like that on how we could do this kind of stuff better. And
Well, I think too, there is a certain amount of, if you already have the stuff, then spending money on more stuff, I think, is a thing that also, as preppers, we're like, we don't want to spend money on just stuff to throw it away necessarily.
yeah,
But there is, for some of that stuff, if you could get, also, I guess, depending on how long you're going to be somewhere, if you're going to be somewhere for 24 hours, I don't know that you would need to spend $50 on all of the little things that you would necessarily want or need to throw. But maybe there's a way you could donate them afterwards or something.
yeah, maybe, yeah. Or I could post on the new giveaway contest. Is you bring the gear, you have the gear shipped to you, and then
Yeah.
do a giveaway. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Quick question for those listening at home. So Tup is using AirPods today.
Yes.
And
How are they sounding?
well, so they've been good, but there have been a couple of times where it sounded like the
Was that?
audio got a little garbled. And what I can't
Yeah, I
tell
heard.
is,
I heard that. I thought it was. I heard that too. Okay,
okay,
that
I
must
couldn't
be.
tell if
That's
it
a.
was me because I'm doing a bunch of like backup stuff, and if it's using my computer for the stream, or if it was the AirPods.
Yeah, I think that was a. That's a me thing. Because normally I have like the
Uh,
whole telemarketer headset because
you
and
do.
that's wired and I know it's gonna work.
You
This
look
is the first on there.
you look very professional usually.
Yeah.
You're
I'll
ready to answer all of our questions and concerns.
next time I'll go back to the telemarketer prepper
Yeah.
telemarketer or
Um,
prepper call center.
so one thing that I saw that was so I'm gonna jump to my vacation because there were a
Yes.
couple of weird things that we saw too that I was like, okay, this is fantastic. Tuple love this. Um, so one thing that I found is because we were doing a car ride and I had to work while we were going. Montana was beautiful. Montana is wonderful. I was not a hate crime this time, which it makes it 70. What is it? 20 33% success rate and not almost becoming a hate crime now in Montana. But had a wonderful time. We tried all the best pizza places. We had plans to cook and ended up just doing like a tour of pizza places. We introduced the kids to axe throwing, which was super fun.
So prepper school. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. When they had hatchets, axes, and throwing stars. And so it was kind of cool because the adults could use the hatchets and the kids could use the throwing stars because it was a little lighter for them to actually get them to stick. We did that. We went bowling. We went to a lake and the kids went fishing and caught all kinds of fish. So it was a very fun outdoorsy, wonderful thing. There was a new puppy that our in-laws had gotten. Shout out to Lola, who was amazing. The kids were in love and campaigning for us to get a dog immediately and incessantly, from the moment we walked through the door. Sadly, we will not be getting a dog, so we have crushed their dreams and spirits, but they put on a good effort. But what was interesting, a couple of things from the prepping side of things was they live in a spot where there's not a lot of internet connectivity. And at one of the businesses that was there had lost internet. They were using like a standard, I think it's Charter or something like that, like a
Mm.
cable company internet. And it was going down. And apparently it's well known to go down there. Um, and I asked them, I was like, well, have you considered using like a cellular hotspot as an alternative or something like that? And they had never thought about it, but they were going to go pursue it. And it gave me, I had my hotspot that I take with me, but I only have a Verizon hotspot usually. I didn't take my AT&T one as well because I just wasn't sure about the networks. I think next time we go, I will take both because there were definitely spots where Verizon was not as strong as AT&T, and for times when I was working on stuff or needing things, having that second different cell network, I think would have been really, really helpful.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. The other thing was I had my laptop in my car and my laptop battery started to die, and I had a inverter in the car, so I could plug in. You could plug in a standard plug and then plug it into the cigarette lighter and power everything. And this thing did not work at all. It was giving me all kinds of errors in charging and all that sort of stuff. So luckily I had packed what I thought was just way overkill, but it was amazing. It was the Anchor, I think it's the 737, which would be appropriate because it's just a gigantic
Wow.
charging bank. But it has a USB-C and it's got like a 140 or a 250 watt output on a USB-C. So you can charge a MacBook Pro with it, no problem.
Nice.
And so I was able to plug that in and basically fully charge my laptop off of it while we were driving, which was awesome. So fully recommend that. A couple of things that we saw that were kind of interesting when we were at this travel lodge, or not travel lodge, it was like a travel store rest area in St. Regis. They're known for their best Huckleberry milkshakes or whatever. There was this line of tools that were super cool. It was like a carabiner, but it had a screwdriver attachments on it and it had a blade on it. So it was like you could have a carabiner, but it was like a multi-tool and a carabiner
Nice. That's a good idea.
had a baby. And then there was one that was a multi-tool with a hammer and an axe on the top of it. And so like at the top, it kind of flared out and one side was a hammer and one side was like a hatchet axe thing. And I was like, this
Is
is
that the
super
trucker's
cool.
friend kind? Is it?
No, so that's what I thought originally, because
Okay.
we've seen the ones that are like it's like an axe and it
Yeah.
does it. This was about this big.
Oh, real super tiny. Okay.
Yeah, it was little. So I actually looked on Amazon to see about the brand. It looks like it's one of those items that you can find a bunch of different varieties and they're probably made in China and then they kind of get like white labeled as other things. So it cost about half as much on Amazon to just buy something that was very, very similar. I don't know if the quality was the same, but I'm probably going to order them and test them out because I thought they looked really, really cool. And I'd never seen like a little multi-tool that had like a hammer and an axe as part of it. It's usually, like the trucker's friend, which is pretty big, good
Yeah, big
size,
honker. Yeah.
or something like that. So
Awesome. Yeah, I'd like to check it out. I have to send a link my way. I've never,
yep.
like in EDC purposes, I've never felt the need to have a hammer, but or an axe, but uh, it still seems pretty cool to have.
Yeah, well, I'd never seen. Usually, when you think about those, they're usually more full size
Yeah.
tools. So we have them in the tool bags and stuff. But I'd never seen something that was small enough that I could put it like in my laptop bag or something like that. And I don't know exactly when I would ever use it, but it was kind of cool to see it in that form to be like, well, how could I use that sort of a thing?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so that was pretty cool. We've done a lot of paperwork in the last like 2 weeks of, for example, like I got my concealed license renewed because I knew we were going to Montana, and when we're going on trips that distance, I always includes special tools in case, we get stopped on the side of the road with a flat tire or something like that. So we got that all renewed. We got the kids' new passport application set in. That is a headache and a half. Have you done passports for the kids?
We no, we haven't, and it's on the list of things to do for sure.
Yeah, it is. We had a very nice person at the post office help us. The instructions apparently that are on the Homeland Security website are not necessarily the instructions that matter, which I did not know. So I was like following, like, make sure you have copies of your identification. So I had those, but they needed both back and front, and the website doesn't say it. It just says front. There were things where it was like, what is your child's occupation? Ignore if they're over 60, if they're under 16, but they have to put student if they're under 16, even though that's not what it says on the website. So there was a lot of like these little things that I thought I was ready and prepared to do it. And so double check and make sure. And I don't know if there's someone to call to double check and make sure you got the application or what, but those were some little things. And then they when you get kid passports, they expire in 5 years, but you can't renew them. So you can't, like with an adult one, you can just send in your old passport and renew it, and they send you a new one. With the kids, you have to do the completely entire process over again.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they look completely different.
Well, yeah. And you have to have both parents or guardians there at the appointment. So it's a little trickier when you're trying to work on work schedules and things like that to make sure that both parents can be there. So we ended up getting like back-to-back appointments so we could just do it all in one shot.
Yeah, we were thinking of getting the passports for this trip, but we didn't have enough time, and it's not needed for a domestic flight.
Yeah.
But
and then we also get, you have the option of getting just the passport book, or you can get the passport card, or you can get both. So I would recommend getting both, because it's kind of the book lets you go internationally. The card lets you go domestically, but also to Mexico and Canada. So if you're, depending on what you're doing, you can kind of take the passport card with you, and then if you need the book, someone could FedEx it to you if you needed it or something like that. But it kind of gives you a backup.
Cool, that's good to know. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to go through the same process, so I'll probably want to run by it one more time with you. Like, hey, what are those down in the instructions?
Yep. No, I can totally do that.
Keeping an eye on some of the comments coming in.
Yeah, Daniel had one. Canadian Peppers warning the world is ending are more useful than those tools. Well, Daniel,
knocking it out again. You still got it, Daniel.
We just so many trolls in our chat room. They just tell us all the things. Let's go to someone who's supportive. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, Daniel was also telling us that warning would hurt your hands. That is very true. I would not recommend these things as like your primary tool, but like in case
if you were to like axe stumpy of a handle, it probably wouldn't feel the best.
Yeah, it probably would not be ideal. Yeah, so there's a lot of questions around the having both parents at the appointment. I believe you can, like, if you can't be there, they can have like, you need like a notarized affidavit sort of a thing to basically say that. And what it really is like, in case you want, like, one parent was trying to like take the kid, let's say there was a divorce situation or something like that or whatever, so that like one parent doesn't take the kid out of the country and not
makes sense.
Not the other parent know. So you definitely have to be, everybody has to be aware that you're giving the child the ability to leave the country, essentially. Let's see what else.
Audio went glitchy again.
Yeah.
I'll go back to the wired next time. Sorry.
Pony Girl loves her trolls. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, the chat room is its
I'm
own
not a fan
thing.
of the movie trolls, but we like trolls in the comments.
Exactly. Yes. Let's see what else. Um, yeah, how's your garden?
My well, my wife has taken over the operation.
Mhm.
It's I'm supposed to stay out of it. So, but she's uh, she's working on different things. I actually threw away all her buckets because I told you how I'm gonna rent a dumpster and throw all these things away. I finally did that this past weekend, and so I was tired of her garden buckets because they're like all these random colors and it drives me bonkers. Like it's like one's orange and one's white and one's blue from Lowe's, and then there's a. I just think they look crappy. So now she has highly rated all black 5 gallon buckets for her gardening. But that's the extent of what I was allowed to do. So upgrading her buckets, and we're finally. I think years back at the start of COVID, I posted how we got this big compost pile that's been
Yep.
in the driveway. It's been there since for like 4
Oh
years now
my.
or whatever. And I said, we got to get this out of the driveway. It's in the Google Maps. Like if you look at our house on Google Maps, you see this big compost pile. And so it's embarrassing. And so we're working on getting. She's almost done with it, and uh, but it has its own like ecosystem in there. It has different plants that have been growing, and there's this
Oh,
humongous root system that's now in this thing. And so but it should be gone within a week, I think. So that'll be good.
well, that'll be awesome. It'll be great to see what actually comes out of that,
Yeah.
like as far as
Uh,
garden production.
yeah. She has these weird. What is it for her tomatoes? She wants me to buy bananas all the time because she slices the bananas in half and puts them in with the tomatoes that she's been growing and stuff. And she has these old recipes and stuff for her gardening.
Oh, well,
Again,
that's intriguing.
we're heavy on tomatoes. We're heavy on spicy peppers that no one can eat, and then we also have some other random stuff. But she doesn't want me involved in the operation.
Well,
So
that's
I'm focusing on other sides of the
you're
premise.
in you're in other areas. You're working
I'm
on
in
junk
other areas.
drawers and all
Yeah,
that sort of stuff. Yeah.
I cleared off some more shelving space for her canning supplies, and we still haven't quite figured out the best way of storing those pressure canners because they're humongous. They don't
Mhm.
stack. They take up so much space. And unless you're a Sutton's Days and you just always have them on the on the stove, it's kind of a tough prepper problem, I think.
Yeah. No, exactly. I'm super excited because we got this our kind of irrigation system fixed like 2 weeks ago. Because I was getting really nervous because we had planted everything. I had paid the prepper tax of being lazy and missing the opportunity to do seedlings, so I had to go out and buy starts. I got the
Yep,
starts of the ground, and I was like, okay, but the water isn't working right now. Well, and we're about to leave for a week, and it's going to be warm, and now everything's going to die.
yep,
Luckily, we got everything, all of that fixed. And so we came back, things had actually grown and looked good. So I am very hopeful that as long as that continues on, we might actually have a pretty decent garden set up this year. So
nice.
we shall see.
Yeah, someone said stay in your lane is the best for
Yeah.
canner too. That's exactly what I'm doing, Big Fly. I'm staying in my lane on this one.
hmm
I have other
um,
projects that we're working.
oh, a tip for canners: flip the lid side down so you can stack a smaller canner in a bigger one, and also protect the gauge and valves.
They're all the same size, so we can't really stick smaller ones in the bigger ones.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Just don't know what to do.
Yeah. You can be like me and only have one, and have it still be in the box.
I don't know how
And
we
then
have
it
many of
it
them now.
stacks fantastically.
Well, there's some that you use for the water-based thing, and then the pressure canning ones, and then other just like big long big crab pots, and there's I don't we have probably a dozen total of all those type of ones, and it takes up a lot of space.
Uh,
And
all right, everybody.
oh sorry.
Oh yeah, no,
She's been encroaching in my food pantry, and so we're having some battles of, hey, I have a video on this. This is supposed to be the aisle for canned food, and it's not like the pressure canner storage area.
does she know that if
So
she messes up your food aisles, like you have to go and redo
I have
videos?
to redo the
Like,
video. I have to make a new
yeah,
PDF. It's a lot.
it's a whole project.
Again, prepper problems. They keep messing up my junk drawer. It's driving me bonkers.
Good. You know what you need? You need to have your junk drawer and then the family junk drawer, and then they can mess up theirs as much as they want to.
They'll just the
And you would
family
have
junk drawer
yours.
would just be disheveled for years, for a decade, and they wouldn't. I
Yep.
don't think they'd really care.
Yeah, I think they would probably be okay with it, but then they would never know where anything is, which would be,
Yeah, yeah.
interesting.
Then they ask me, "What
Yeah.
what do you mean you don't know? You don't know where whatever lint
Send the junk
roller
drawer.
is?"
Go look at the PDF. Put everything
Yeah,
back, and you'll find the thing.
yeah. That's what I say.
All right, everybody. Well, thanks
All
for
right.
joining us. We're gonna jump off because again, it's summer hours. It's summer Wednesdays. But we'll be back next week, next Wednesday. I think we're both available. So that's the plan. We'll check in with Sutton's Days and Brecky and see if either of them want to be able to join us as well.
I haven't seen
Um,
Brecky in a little bit.
I know.
Does she still
She's got
like us, or is she mad at us?
no. She's got little kids, and
Okay,
so she's like trying to figure that timing and stuff out. So, or she might not like us. I
she might not like us
prefer to
anymore.
think that it's the kids, but it's probably she does. I mean,
No, I think
so many
on
people.
July 3rd, I might. We'll talk about our July schedule, because that's
Okay.
where we have some stuff, some
Well, I mean, yeah,
Sun River
there's
stuff. Yeah,
the whole nation's birthday, and you and Sun River
I'll
are all
get an
close.
AI tup to come in and fill in if need be.
That is hysterical. I think we should 100% make it like a Chat GPT Tup, and
Yeah.
you give it a command. You are Tup.
Yes.
Here is, respond to these questions as
I
if
bet it
you were.
wouldn't be too hard to upload every single video I've ever made and all the
Yep.
dialogues and the transcripts, and then it would all have it as part of its large language model, and it'd be able to
Yep.
probably reply as I would. So we're almost there, folks.
We're almost to an AI Tup. That would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
AI tup is coming out.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Thanks a lot.